we don't fully understand what it is. But tonight I wanted us to speak to women who have seen it, who have experienced it, who've overcome it. Women who have lost people they love because of this. And we're doing this for one reason. So that if you're listening to us, you go and get screened. It's as simple as that. This morning we heard the story of a woman who found out very early, and so she was cured. She went through the process and she is cancer-free. And that's what breast cancer is. If it's detected early, it can be cured. You can live a full life. So this evening we're doing this for you, hoping that when you hear these stories, you will realize how much it can be avoided and how much pain you are risking if you don't go and get a very simple mammogram or simply just go and get tested. Well, good evening again if you're just tuning in. This evening's conversation is not our usual fun, lively. This evening we're going to get really serious and maybe break your heart a little bit to save your life. So if you just tuned in, welcome once again. I have three beautiful women in the studio who will be doing this with me. Let me put on their mics. Good evening, ladies.
Hi. Good evening.
So I have Dorothy Animwaa. She's a CEO of Base Dynasty and Chic Optique, and also founder of Dorothy's Hope Foundation. And then I have Beryl Bannerman, and then I have Fatia Imoro Halidu. I hope I got that right, Fatia. Yes? Okay, she's the CEO of Mulwin Events. And these three ladies have very different stories, but like I said, one goal for you to go and get screened. One goal tonight. So, let me start with Beryl. Yeah, I knew you could tell I was going to start with you, couldn't you? So, do you want to just tell us a little bit of your story?
Okay. My story started about 10 years ago, where accidentally my youngest daughter, put her hand on my breast, and I didn't feel any pain, which was really surprising. So the following morning I had to go and see the doctor to find out why, and they realized there was a lump, and there was one surgery, and I had a mastectomy done, and then 2 years later another one, and it's been great.
Wow. Well, thank God for your daughter.
That's right.
In the first place. And you say it's easy. I mean, you say it easily, and I'm using the word easily very lightly. But it hasn't exactly been an easy journey, has it?
No, it hasn't been. Lots of tears, breakdowns, but still I held on to my faith, and it's helped me to this point.
Wow. Dorothy, okay, do you want to share a bit of your story with us?
Hi. Okay, so I'm a breast cancer survivor. I was diagnosed at the age of 29.
Oh, that's pretty young.
Yeah. With stage 3 breast cancer, my left breast. And so basically I felt healthy. I was not overweight. I thought I was eating very well. Everything in my life seemed okay. And all of a sudden, found a lump in my left breast. My first reaction was I thought it was a cyst.
Okay. You found it yourself?
Actually, my husband found it at the time. Yeah. So, so we just, okay, let's go in for a test and see, make sure that it's a cyst. And everybody in my family was convinced that that's what it was. So went in, saw a doctor. I was in New York at the time, and she did a biopsy, a needle biopsy of the lump. It took about 3 days in the lab, and then the results came back. I went in to see her, and that's when I was told that I had cancer. So at that point, at 29, being told that you have breast cancer, your whole life is sort of turned upside down. Cause, we're told that we don't have to have mammograms until we're 40 plus. So there was no reason for me to ever, even do a
suspect. Yeah, of course.
So anyhow, I immediately had to. I remember at the time saying to her, okay, fine, and thinking, okay, it's a death sentence, and okay, so can I have a baby quickly? Because I'd just gotten married at the time. Wow. And my first, thought was, okay, I want to have a child, at least to leave behind. And she looked at me and said, no, young lady, if you do that, your hormones will go out of range and control, and it'll grow so rapidly, you would be dead in probably 6 months. But just sort of calm down, and we'll take you through the process. So I then met with a series of doctors, and this is what I want to tell people, any lady or gentleman who's diagnosed with breast cancer or cancer of any form. It's so important to self-educate yourself. There's a lot of information out there. So if you were to be diagnosed with cancer or breast cancer, you immediately start to do your research. See your doctors, surgeons, oncologists, and find out what best treatment option there is available to you. So anyway, I did that. And obviously being in that part of the world as well, I was able to access a lot of healthcare facilities. And and then I was told that it was growing very aggressively. After being put through a series of tests, I was advised not to do a lumpectomy, which is the removal of the lump, but rather to go for the mastectomy. And that was quite devastating.
But you're 29 and you just gotten married.
Yes, I was told that it'd be advisable to have a mastectomy. So I went ahead and had that done. I was in surgery for about 15 hours, and after that I had the removal and then the reconstruction at the same time. It's an option for some people. Other people just choose to just have it removed and have nothing done afterwards. But I opted to have a tram flap procedure, which is basically they take tissues and muscles from your stomach and they do the reconstruction with that. So that's what I had done.
Which explains the 15 hours.
Yes.
Okay, so
and that's not just it, because surgery is not the end of breast cancer.
Yeah.
Then you have to go through a series of treatments, sometimes chemotherapy, sometimes radiotherapy. I went through 6 months of intensive chemotherapy, so to make sure that the cancer cells were nowhere else in my system.
I find myself just being lost for words, because this week I've met a number of women who've survived breast cancer, and I keep on saying the women I've met don't look like anything they've been through.
That's true.
Like, I mean, I'm looking at absolutely like.
It's a blessing, isn't it?
Yes. No, it is. I mean, wow. Okay. So I'll come back to that. I'm going to Fatia for a second. Fatia, your story is a little different.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about it.
So my mom died of breast cancer. Her sisters died of breast cancer. And then the only breast cancer survivor in my family is my immediate sister, whom I'm next to. We are very grateful to God that she's been able to deliver a child now. However, mine also started about 6 years ago. After delivering my last born, I started having pain in my left breast, and it's always the left breast with my family. And my family history is that it starts with pain. You just don't wake up and you see it. It will start with pain. You keep going to the hospital, doing scans, tests. They'll tell you there's nothing there, and all of a sudden, once it appears, we are losing the person. That has been my family history. Fortunately for me, like she said, you have to really read a lot. Be it a man or a woman, you really have to read about breast cancer. So my sister who had it, she's in Belgium. She actually advised that I do mastectomy after delivery. So when I weaned, I just ran off. I first of all went to India, did the surgery, came back 3 months. I started having the same pain again. So I had to go back to Belgium for a second surgery because they had left some tissues there, which was also very dangerous for me. So I had to get it done twice. So thank God Almighty. When I came back, 37 managed me well. Dr. Asumanu, I have to say thank you to him because it was not just the surgery and I'm okay after 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I mean, I had a bit of complications and he did manage me well, and I'm very grateful to him, my husband, who is also a doctor. For me, it's difficult. Why is it difficult? Because growing up in the north, I'm from Tamale actually. Our mothers it's difficult for them to let their children know what they are going through until it is almost too late. My mom, when she had it, she thought she was going to disturb us and she's going to die anyway. So there was absolutely no need to let us know because her sisters did not survive it. So I was in Accra and something kept pushing me to go to Tamale. I went and visited her, and then she said, "Oh, you this witch, you won't go." I said, "No, I'm not going. I don't know why I'm even here in the first place." So the third day, I was sleeping at 12 midnight. She woke me up and she asked me to touch her left breast. I touched it. You can just imagine how I screamed. I screamed my lungs out, and I said, "Does she know what it is?" She said, "Yes." I said, "How long have you had it?" She said, "Oh, it's been a while." She said it as if she couldn't be bothered with it. And I was just shaking. So I pulled myself together, and then I went out to call my siblings. They were all sad, but eventually she got the surgery, but she didn't survive. 6 months after the surgery, she passed on. In the north, sometimes when our mothers, they have to actually tell us what is going on with them, because it's not a burden to us, their children. They took care of us, and so it is our responsibility to also take care of them. And you having breast cancer doesn't condemn you to death. I am sure if my mother had told us earlier, when she discovered it, it wouldn't have been too late for her. However, Allah is the giver of life and He's the taker of life. Everybody and how they are going to go. But I always believe that she would have lived longer. My advice to all our mothers and all mothers is that when you are sick or when you have it, please let your family know. Do not keep it. Speak out. It is not a bother to your loved ones. It will save us the pain of losing you. You know. So, and it happened to all her sisters. When they get it, the last one died early this year. Yeah. She had it and she locked herself in the room. They didn't see her for about a week. They broke into the room, and she was really sick. Took her to the hospital. She survived for just a month and she passed on. So that is the pain of keeping information from your loved ones. I just think that we should be able to share. And for me, it is not a shame. I have removed my breast. I look healthy. I'm not in pain. My breast look like a 16-year-old. It's just that you don't have feeling in it, but you can actually nurture the feeling psychologically. It will come after some time. You really have to try to get feeling. Yes, it's not easy.
Wow, you've taken us through a whole. I think this is the first time I'm actually speechless on the show, but.
May I say something?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
In your case, you knew you had family history, right?
Yeah.
You lost a lot of your siblings and your mother. There are options for people who have this problem and where it's hereditary. Did anybody educate you about the possibility of doing gene testing in order to possibly even have a removal of the breast to save your life?
Yes, we did that.
You did that.
Yes.
Okay.
It was 88.9%. Yes, obviously we did that.
Okay.
And then cervical was just 20%, so that one we're still monitoring, but we are very much aware. Believe you me, even my daughter can lecture anyone about breast cancer. So I mean, you have to really speak about it. I tell my friends sometimes when we meet, and some of my friends who are aware that I've done breast surgery, they feel that I'm keeping it, and they try to hide to tell someone. I just smile and I say, "Oh, is she telling you I've done breast surgery?" "Oh yes, if you have money, run and go and do it. Remove it and throw it away. It's not worth keeping." Wow. It is not worth keeping. Why am I keeping it? When I can survive.
When you can survive,
Yes,
yeah. And especially since there are options of reconstruction, and I mean, there's so many options now as opposed to maybe 20, 30 years ago when, you know, you do it and there's
your confidence.
I can tell from the way that you've posed that, you know, you're feeling very... But, I mean, Fatia, that's a heartbreaking story. And I want to stay on it just for a little bit because this is an aspect of breast cancer survival that we don't hear about a lot. The fact that some of our mothers, or there's still people, you know, in this country who hide it, who will have it.
Taboo.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember when I first started my mission, you know, and the foundation, etc. I moved to Ghana, and about 7 years ago, I discussed going on air and talking about breast cancer and my experience. I remember my mother initially saying, "Oh no, don't, you know, there's no need, don't, you know." It was like something that you should just keep within the family. Until I convinced her and said, if I can tell my story and let people know that I'm a survivor, I went through this and I can survive it. I think if it can empower or, you know, encourage somebody else to get through the disease, why not? Even if it means saving one person's life.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what actually motivates me to do what
you do as well.
Well,
yeah, go ahead. I mean, you can feel free to interject. It's not like
my MBA thesis at Central University was about that. I actually went into the field myself and collected information as to why our mothers or women keep quiet, especially in the north. I've not had the opportunity to do research in other regions, but I can only stick to where I have had good information from. And like I said, it's about disturbing your children or your family members, and people calling you out, and they feel it's a boil, and it can be treated locally.
Wow.
It is all they feel is witchcraft. Let's not forget that.
No, for me, I didn't even get that. Not the witchcraft aspect, but they think it is a form of a boil which can be treated locally in my local dialect. I don't know the name in English.
No, it's fine. You can say it.
It's a kind of dangerous boil that appears, and then sometimes they say when you get an injection, you will die. So if you have that boil and you go to the hospital, they will inject you and you will die.
And you will die. So there's so much.
That's the psychological aspect in coming out.
Or the miseducation, even the misinformation of what's going on.
Every year, I actually take, during breast cancer month, I actually take a day to go to organize. Obviously, I'm an event organizer, so I try to organize events. Some of the pharmaceutical companies I do work with, they support me a lot. I organize educative series for some of our mothers, and you have you can't believe the number of people we are saving just talking to them with no cost at all, just letting them know that it's okay, it's not a boil. A boil is a different game. This is death. However, you can survive. It's 50-50. You keep quiet, you die. You speak out, you survive. So for me,
it's choose life or death.
Yes,
speak
I would
out,
rather
isn't
choose
it?
life to take care of my kids, or to be with my loved ones and to save them from pain.
Okay, Beryl, let me come to you for a second. What was the hardest part about all of it for you?
For me, I've gone through chemotherapy.
Okay, so what stage cancer did you when you diagnosed? Were you diagnosed?
I was in the second stage in both cases.
Okay.
Yes, I've had bilateral
twice.
myself. Yeah, and then have gone to chemotherapy 18 times.
Wow.
Yeah, I've had 18 cycles. To the extent that even it has spread a little bit more to another part of the area which they are managing.
Okay.
And I believe, for my case, my family also have a family history where everybody is a bit quiet on that. And it was only one auntie who was a bit vocal. But I thought at that age, no, it was out of reach until I was diagnosed. For women, what I believe is, I think more women need to be empowered, to be independent, and be on their own. Most women are relying on their husbands. So, breast cancer treatment is expensive.
Yeah.
So, when a woman is diagnosed and a bill is, she's told this is what it's going to cost, she doesn't have the money. She wants the man to support. So, if you don't have a man who is willing to support to pay these bills, they are left. That's why most women are quiet. But I believe if more women are empowered to be independent with small businesses and stuff so that they can stand for themselves, they should be able to have medical aid, on their own instead of waiting for decisions from men. Fortunately, I made my own decision because maybe I can say so I was lucky because I could make my own decision to take treatments at which particular time. I didn't really need my husband's consent.
Okay.
You understand? I thought this was me and I had to do it for myself. So it's been that kind of...
I mean, you bring another dimension to the conversation, which is the economic aspect of, breast cancer. So if you're in the UK, for example, you're on the NHS, then maybe it's, the money aspect may not come in. Or if you're in the US and, you've been paying insurance and all of that, then you might be. But this morning, I spoke to a lady who didn't have insurance and all of that. So there's that struggle. But here in Ghana, and you're so right, you come home with a bill of what, maybe 20,000, 30,000 more. There may be the initial, forgive my ignorance, but maybe the initial bill of 20, 30, and you bring it to the man that you're married, to, and he's looking at it, and he's looking at children's school fees, and he's looking at, and all of a sudden it becomes a weighing, like an opportunity cost analysis. What is worth saving, so then there's that aspect of it as well. And go ahead.
I remember that I spent about $25,000 in India and 35,000 euros in Belgium. My plane tickets was not bad. My feeding, my cost of stay was not bad. But for me, in my case, I was very lucky that I was able to pay for it. My husband has been very supportive from day one. He's a very open-minded person. Once I'm comfortable with it, he's good. He's good to go with it. Yes, the financial aspect came from me, but he did contribute his bit. He gave me some money, and for me, I wouldn't say that my partner was not supportive, both financially and emotionally. He was there for me in both aspects, and I'm one of the few lucky ones.
Yeah.
But I do know that there are other women who go through a lot of financial difficulties. And I think early this year, Joy FM did a story about a woman who couldn't pay. Yes. I was very sorry that
we did
she
that.
passed.
She passed eventually. It was too late. Oh right.
That was Agnes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was by her
I think
side
the day I sent my contribution was the day she passed.
She passed,
or the next day she passed.
No. What happened was, with Agnes's case, she was abandoned by her family, her husband. She was found in a room. There was a pastor who actually she had been praying for her and had taken her to, brought her to Joy FM. And I think a lady called Essinam.
Yeah, Essinam. Essinam was
right.
dealing with it.
And immediately I was informed about it on my platform. I went right to her house at Wager, I think it was, and saw her in such bad condition. She initially had shied away from surgery because of the fear of losing her breast. And, she went to a prayer camp. And from there she did some herbal remedies, which didn't work. So she neglected herself, and within a year, she deteriorated rapidly. She was a bad case, I think a few days after I met her, she called and said she was in so much pain. We immediately put her in a taxi and rushed her to Kolebu, where I had her admitted that night. I had the doctors try to do everything to save her. She seemed comfortable the first day or two afterwards, and all of a sudden, she went into shock. It had spread into her bones, and her calcium levels became very high, and unfortunately, she just drifted away. Yeah, so I mean, she left hers to be.
But she left it. I guess there was the fear of losing her breast, but there was also the fact that she really could not afford
affordability was a big
any
factor
sort
for her.
of health care at
In fact,
all.
she was being kicked out of her house by her landlord as well. So
and abandoned by her husband, if I remember, and
Yeah.
she had a son.
2 sons.
Yeah, 2
Emmanuel
exactly.
And Joshua.
Yeah.
Joel, who just celebrated his 9th birthday actually.
Oh.
So yes, with her case, she could not afford it. She didn't have medical insurance, and the treatment is quite expensive. Radiation, for example, can cost anywhere from 5,000 cedis upwards. Now, where does a low-income person, woman,
afford that?
How do you afford that?
Yeah,
and that's
just the beginning. I mean, that's treatments can go on and on and on.
I mean, 18
for one
cycles
cycle.
of chemotherapy. I can't.
One
That's
that
one
payment
cycle.
she's talking for just one cycle.
Yeah. So affordability is a big problem.
Sure. Health insurance will
breast
just pay.
cancer, it just crawls. It's so unassuming. It's so unassuming.
There's no
Today,
pain associated with breast cancer. In the beginning, yours is different.
Yes, my
But
family
the
history
majority of
is
people, there's no pain. Suddenly, just a lump just appears and goes into something else. So we have to educate ourselves and examine ourselves and and try to catch this at a very, very early stage. It's very important. It is possible to survive breast cancer if it's caught early.
Well, I mean, there's 3 of you here.
Stage 2. Here I am.
So I mean, there's obviously if it's caught, then. Whew, okay. Well, 055-1111-997. Those are the text lines. If you want to share your story with us, we would love to hear it. Because these stories really just inspire. If you're listening and you found that lump, I can imagine what it must be between the finding of the lump, the going to the hospital, the getting the biopsy, and the waiting for the results.
Yeah.
I mean, that fear alone can kick you into denial, and you just be like, look, I'm not, there's nothing there.
Yes, you look very healthy. I mean, the way it starts, you just look healthy. You just go like, oh, there's nothing wrong with me. I feel okay. But hey, listen, after delivery, when I come home and I'm just thinking about how to remove my brazier, how to take off my bra, because I was in so much pain that I practically have to hold the breast for like an hour and remove my brazier slowly. Sit down for some time before I'm able to say my prayers. And sometimes, as a Muslim, you bend down, bending and getting up. So it was quite difficult. Sometimes I have to hold it like this, go up and down. So it was quite.
It sounds like it's a lot.
I'm glad I was able to do the surgery.
Yeah.
Since then, I've not had any pain. So I thank God.
Then there's aftercare, which is also very important.
Yeah.
After you've had the mastectomy and you've gone through your series of treatments, you can't forget that this disease can possibly be lingering somewhere else in the body, which means you must go on a yearly basis, sometimes 6 months. For me, it was 3 months, which became 6 months, my checkups. 6 months, and then eventually became 1 year.
So do you live with the fear? I mean, we talk about breast cancer survivors, but is there fear because you know that it can come back at any time? Do you live with that fear?
Absolutely, especially for those who have lumpectomies. Okay, you remove the lump, and surgeons are supposed to clear the margins. That means basically when they do the test, they make sure that there's no cancer cells left in the margins. And sometimes they leave a cancer cell, and that can actually, go to another part of the body or grow again in the breast. And that's when cancer comes back. It can come back a year later, it can come back 10 years later. I mean, I'm more than 10 years into this now. Well, over 10 years into this.
Yeah.
Having survived breast cancer. And I still live with the fear. Every now and then,
it grips you.
It grips you.
But I mean, Beryl, you're still living with knowing that there is some sort of cancer in your body.
Yes.
How does that make you feel?
Actually, for me, fear is another word. I'm not scared, actually, until, I have to go through a pain. I've just tried to be light-headed, just do what I can do, that kind of thing. Last year, I remember me and Dorothy were on a show, TV3, and we talked about it, and I said, I'm not afraid. But afterwards, when I came home, and I was thinking about what I said, and I said, truly, am I afraid or not? And I wasn't sure, but I think a month not a month, I think the same year, 2 months after, and then I was having some funny feelings in my arm, so I went back to the hospital, and in trying to trace and all that stuff, and realized that it had spread to somewhere else, and I had to go through a series of chemotherapy again. But fear, I don't think so.
She's a champion.
I don't
know how she does it. I check on her all the time. I don't know how she does it, but she's so positive. And that is why Beryl is here. Because the mind plays a big factor in this. And I believe that for me too, that's what helped me survive this. Because if you're positive about survival, you can beat this disease. You can.
But the thing is, I'm looking at Beryl, like she's beyond positive to the point where, I'm sorry, you don't look like there's anything wrong with you on any level, or that you have any worries, or it's like I look at you and I'm amazed.
Normal.
Beyond normal.
One day at a time.
One day at a time, One day at a
every
time.
moment, be happy. For me, I've spoken to my sister, and she's not afraid as well. And we are not afraid. Because we've seen it. We've seen the worst parts of
you've lost so much. You've lost so much.
Survival. So we are not afraid. We live every moment, enjoy every moment, and tomorrow will take care of itself. I refuse to live in fear. I refuse to think about it until it is time for me to think about it. Until then, I'm going to live a very happy life. I intend to do that. Other things may make me sad, but not my health. No, I will not allow that. That I can control. If I'm going to die with it, yes, but I have done my best. I will die knowing that I have done my best. But I will regret knowing that I could have done better.
And you didn't.
And I didn't.
Which is
I'm happy
key.
That I have taken a bold step.
Which is key. And really the focus for this evening's conversation is getting screened. But the thing is, you see, we're told that you're not really at risk till you're 40. Yet you had it at 29.
And people are getting it at a much younger age.
So do you just go and get screened regardless?
You start with self-breast exams. I think that's where you start. We have to educate our children, our siblings, our sisters, everybody, to start giving themselves breast exams at a very young age.
Okay, so what are you looking for? When you're feeling your boobs, what are you looking
for? Any
for?
abnormalities. You should know your ladies. I call them ladies. You should know your ladies. When you have your menstrual cycle, your breast formation does change. So you should know when that happens. And some people get lumpier breasts during their periods in general. So you need to be able to differentiate between those type of lumps and another lump that may appear when you're not having your cycle. Okay, so there's lots of information out there, and we teach people as well.
So the most important thing is that you should know what your breasts feel like, have felt like all your life, so that if there's any change, you can tell. Feeling for lumps, and we have been doing. We've been playing Dr. Cassie talking about how to do the self-examination. So if you're listening, otherwise you can go on Google. Now you can Google everything. So just Google how to, how to feel yourself.
I don't even think you should wait till there's any changes, or it is October month before you keep checking. You really have to keep checking
all the time.
It's a monthly thing.
Wait for October. I always say this.
No, it doesn't.
Monthly thing, especially I think after your menstrual cycle. It's a monthly thing you should do, and it will help you. if there is a lump, you will feel it.
You feel lump
it.
or discharge.
It's
sometimes.
different. Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Sometimes you can have
discharge
discharge.
as well.
Your nipples can be inverted,
Yeah.
and that's unusual. If suddenly your nipple becomes inverted, that's also a sign that something might be going on with your breast. Dimpling is another thing. Your breast can have some dimples on it. So these are all signs that.
So it's really anything unusual.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you see anything unusual, check. Go and see your doctor. To be on the safe side, because we know that if it's detected early, it is treatable. You know, and removable, and you can survive it, and you can be like these three amazing ladies who are in the studio. And I love, you know, the fact that all three of you talk about the fact that there's nothing to be afraid of, because that's a big thing. I mean,
sometimes
fear is
you
a
feel
big
your
thing.
mind is playing games on you and say, oh, shall I check? Shall I tell somebody? No, run. Run. Don't even doubt it. Yes, it's better for you to run and go and make a scene than not to run and say that, oh, my mind is playing games on me, I'm fine. And I mean, 1 week or 1 month, 2 months, 1 year down the line, it's too late.
It's too late.
Yes.
If you're just tuning in, this is Strong and Sassy on Joy 99.7, and we're talking about surviving breast cancer. But we're also talking about checking yourself all the time. And we're talking about not being afraid, and we're also talking about getting screened early. So if you're listening to us, you really should get screened. Take advantage of the fact that it's Pink October. A lot of hospitals, a lot of foundations are running free screening. A lot. The Trust Hospital Dummy is running a free screening program. Make an appointment. Go and get screened. If there's anything wrong, it can be treated. When we come back, we'll continue with this conversation that we're having. We'll open the phone lines, and then you can maybe ask your questions or share your stories, or tell us what you're taking away from today. And if you're listening to us and you're going to get screened, call us as well and tell us. We'll give you vim. We'll cheer you on. Because we want you to do this. Because we want you here. We want you alive, and we want you well. Don't go anywhere. This is Strong and Sassy, taking a few messages from our friends. We'll be right back.
Jerry Kong Bediako used his power to win big with Bet Power. He started with 57 Ghana cedis and won 235,605 Ghana cedis and 33 pesos. Now he has a new land, a cocoa farm, and 2 minibuses. Grab your power to win big with the new 500% win bonus at betpower.com.gh. That's BETPAWA.com.gh. Bet responsibly, 18+. Bet Power is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
DSTV no dey disappoint. We get more than 20 live matches every week from the best leagues in the world, like the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, plus the Champions League. Upgrade to Compact Plus now or buy a DSTV Zappa decoder for 229 Ghana cedis with 1 month access. They make you stay connected or reconnected to us from only 45 Ghana cedis per month. Make you download and stream live your favorite games anywhere, anytime with the DSTV Now app. Won't pay we now per ding. DSTV. Feel every moment.
Do you want to make the best savings on your dream home?
We are giving 10% discount on our products. Just take a coupon, go to any retail outlet, and show your coupon to redeem your 10%.
Or you simply want a payment plan?
We are selling off plan. That means they are not yet built.
Roofing is one of the most expensive aspects of building.
Don't know what kind of design to go in for roofing, because the roof design determines the cost of your roofing.
Join us as we seek solutions and find incredible alternatives for your shelter. The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair kicks off with a mini clinic at the West Hills Mall from Saturday 17th to Sunday the 18th of October 2020 from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. You can also join virtually via Zoom. The theme for this edition is Affordable Housing, Beyond the Rhetoric. Remember to observe our COVID-19 safety protocols and follow us on our social media platforms using the hashtag JoyHabitatFair. The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is sponsored by Ganaba Properties. Experience affordable luxury. DBS Roofing, Roofing Papa Parfum. Duroplast Limited, manufacturers of high-quality UPVC and HDPE pipes, fittings, rotational molded products, and associated accessories. The Plant City Extension Project. Rent to own. Habitat Fair. Everything housing.
Everywhere you turn, there's a mother, a father, a sister, or a brother who has been affected by breast cancer.
No one is immune to breast cancer, neither old nor young, rich or poor, weak or strong.
Hope is the bridge that connects cancer and recovery. Don't give up your courage to fight.
Fighting breast cancer takes everyone. One team, one dream. Let's find a cure.
It's real. It's not a myth. 1 in 8 women and 1 in 1,000 men who develop breast cancer at some point in their lives.
Get screened. Early detection saves lives. Check often and encourage those you love to do same.
Knowing it exists isn't enough. Get informed. Pass it on.
Exercise is also beneficial to breast cancer survivors.
Pink is stronger than you think. Join the hashtag PinkOctober. This October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month on Joy FM. Join us on the Cosmopolitan Mix for Pink October. I am Doreen Nando.
Welcome back. This is Strong and Sassy on Joy 99.7. Now, Fatia was just telling me a story about her mother's sister, auntie, and how different that was. Would you mind sharing that with us?
I don't at all. For me, it's about saving lives, and we need more education, even though we speak about it, as to whether it is impactful. That is another
issue.
My aunt, she was the first diagnosed breast cancer in our family. I think I was about 9 years old. I still remember it clearly. Anytime I speak about it, I cry. I weep a lot because her death was very painful. Her breast had swollen to the point that we will put buckets under her breast and collect pus coming out from her breast, and you could see maggots coming out from her breast. She went through a lot of pain for like 2 years before she passed on. Her own was just so tragic that her breast really became very big, and her level of pain, the screams at night, I still remember them clearly. And for me, it's psychologically disturbing, because all the time I still have the pictures in my head, in my mind, and I pray no human being have to go through that level of pain. Yes. For people to put buckets under your breast and collect a lot of pus, a lot of maggots, a lot of different color of water coming out from your skin, and the stench coming out from you being human being, it's just not something that I would love for even my worst enemy to experience. So I'm praying that whatever thing that we are doing tonight is very impactful, and somebody will not take it as just a mere talk, but the person would really take it seriously, because it is real. I mean, I walk around a lot and I smile a lot. Nobody knows what is going on with me. Believe you me, I'm a very happy girl, very, very happy and comfortable. I'm very, very thankful to my Creator. However, the reality is that there's breast cancer, and do not downplay it. It is real, it is a killer. However, you can survive it. So early detection counts, can save a life, and can help you both financially and physically as well, because if it's at the early stages, your treatment will be different from it being at the worst stages. So for me, we have to take it seriously.
We do. Really sorry about all that you've gone through. The story is heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. Beryl, what would you say to, women who are listening, and just listening really at different stages of their journey with breast cancer?
For my two breasts, I had two different types. The first one was no pain, and the second one was painful. If I knew the family history earlier, I'm sure I would have made an extra effort and not got into this stage. But I encourage other women, do your self-examination. Know your breasts. Apart from the normal lump, you might identify another lump, or you might see a pus or something, discharge or something. Do it. Once you know your breasts, at least it could help. One of my breasts had an inverted nipple right from onset when I had breast. I did not even know that it was something we could have checked on.
Okay.
I had difficulty when I give birth and doing breastfeeding. It was always sore and stuff. But I did not know it was one of the signs that I could have checked. So I would tell other women, know your breast. Once you know your breast, I'm sure it will talk to you, and you could find help as early as possible and not get to that far. Yeah.
Okay.
But even if it is so, don't shy away. There are more women that can encourage you, encourage yourself in your faith, and it will boost up your morale to move on.
Yeah.
Know that this is for you and no one else. If you want to depend on people, sometimes it can be really, you can be disappointed. I know, but with your faith, I have basically hung on to my faith, and God has given me destiny helpers in all my cases to help me in my finances, and I believe he's still available for every woman. So just hang on to your faith and allow God to do what he has to do in this journey, because there's a reason why you were chosen, and it shouldn't be the end. You have to work on it.
Thank you so much for that. Dorothy, your final words as well.
As these ladies have all said, you need to take charge of your life and take responsibility for your health. Yes, we can visit doctors and all that, but at the end of the day, you have to know your body. So if something is going wrong with you, you can actually seek medical attention. Don't neglect it. Breast cancer is real. It's not a myth. It's real. We're all living examples of it. What Fatia, you're saying, your aunt went through this and her breast was so diseased, you had maggots in it and all oozing with all this. That's not normal. In other parts of the world, in Europe and in the US, where I grew up, I've done a lot of advocacy work with breast cancer in the last several years. I've never seen breasts get so diseased as I have seen in Ghana. And your aunt's case I'm seeing a lot of it. Agnes was one, where the breast has actually deformed and oozing and gone into the breast, the chest, and that's serious. It shouldn't have to get to that stage. What I had was stage 3 breast cancer, which is a lump the size of a 25-cent coin, and that's enough for you to know that something's wrong. You don't have to wait to see oozing and all that stuff of your breast. So please, the sooner you deal with this, the earlier it is. If you do have any suspicions or if you see any abnormalities with your breast, there are lots of facilities available in Ghana for free screening, especially at this time of the month. Please take advantage of it. I think you mentioned one or two: Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Ridge, other private clinics, and even Rabito Clinic. I'm just putting this out there. Dorothy's Hope Foundation, and together with Rabito Clinic next weekend at their East Legon location, is performing free breast exams. So please, if you're out there and you have any concerns, take advantage of this. Come out and be screened for free. And if you do get screened and unfortunately you are diagnosed with breast cancer, you must
fight through.
You must fight through. You must seek further assistance. You don't just get diagnosed and then walk away.
Yeah.
You go to see, surgeons, oncologists. You go to wherever you have to go to. Find the help that you need, and please take care of your life.
Well, yeah, please take care of your lives, and we hope that after listening to this, you will find the courage and the strength to go get screened, get treated, reach out. If you don't have the resources, reach out. There's Dorothy's Hope Foundation, the Trust Hospital. We're doing free screening. A lot of the hospitals, because of October Awareness Month, are offering some sort of free screening. So go out there, get screened, get tested. It's treatable. You can survive. Thank you so much, Dorothy, Beryl, and Fatia, for sharing your stories with us. Thank you for the courage and the strength that you show us. Thank you for what survival looks like. Thank you for showing us that. We're very grateful. And we're very grateful to you for choosing to stay with Strong and Sassy. We'll come back next weekend. MFR brings next week. No, we don't have football next week. It's the week after, I think. But if you don't hear from us, it will be George Addo Jr. Otherwise, it will be us. But at the moment, it's MFR.